so let's start. Let's start with the lecture again. So we have discussed the term trace, which was the sum of principal diagonal elements. Okay, now I was talking about some types of matrices, square matrices. So first one is diagonal matrix. Listen one thing, that I am saying that it is a type of square matrix means for this matrix M will be equal to N only. Now what is diagonal matrix? Can you tell me what is diagonal matrix? Reply, what is diagonal matrix? Diagonal elements are non-zero and except that all the elements will be zero. A diagonal matrix is a matrix for which I am directly writing an example, no need of the definition again. So again I am taking an example of a 3 cross 3 matrix. Again it will be a square matrix of order 3. It will be said to be a diagonal matrix if all the elements except the diagonal. I guess you understood my point. So a diagonal matrix is a matrix in which the principal diagonal elements will be non-zero and except that all other will be zeros. One form of writing the definition for this matrix is, I am writing the definition in terms of this elemental format. Aij, if Aij is 0 for all I not equal to j, then that matrix is known as diagonal matrix. Are you able to understand that definition, that for a matrix for which Aij is 0 for all I not equal to j, means whenever I is not equal to j, like in this case, and all the non-diagonal elements, then it means that it will be a diagonal matrix. Okay, so it is one type of definition of diagonal matrix. So let's talk about the second type of square matrix now, which is known as scalar matrix. What do you mean by scalar matrix? Just write down this example and you will get to know what is a scalar matrix. So scalar matrix, first of all, it's a diagonal matrix in which all the diagonal elements are the same. What is a scalar matrix? Diagonal matrix, it will be a diagonal matrix for which the diagonal elements are the same. Okay, so write down the definition. It is a diagonal matrix for which all the so it is the scalar matrix. Now can you write down in this format this definition for scalar matrix? Definition of scalar matrix in this format. Can everybody write it down? Please write it down in your copy. What will be the elemental definition for this scalar matrix? Then first of all, this condition should be satisfied that for all I not equal to j, Aij should be 0. This condition should be satisfied, and along with that there is one more condition. So and there will be more condition that Aij will be equal to some constant k. This k value will be same for all I equal to j. So this is how you will write the definition of scalar matrix. Yes? Okay. Any doubt you can ask? Okay. Done. So let's move forward. This was scalar matrix. Now one thing that I'd like to ask here. See here. What do you mean by a scalar? What do you mean by a scalar? I'm not saying scalar matrix. I'm saying what do you mean by a scalar? Or what is the function of a scalar? What do you understand by scaling or scalar? That it is a quantity which is having magnitude only. It is a quantity which is having magnitude only. Okay, right. That some quantity, a physical quantity which is having just the magnitude and not the direction is a scalar quantity. But what is a scalar? Like if I say that this too, will you say that this is a scalar? So yes, this is a scalar because it has no It has no direction. So yes, everybody is answering right. It is a scalar. Now why this is known as a scalar? Let me come to that point. So it is known as a scalar because its function is to scale. What do you mean by scale? Scale means if I write like this, that this is some a vector, and if I multiply this a vector with 2, that means a scalar. 2 is a scalar. If I multiply this vector with 2, then what will happen? This direction of this vector will remain the same, but the length of this vector will be doubled. So what is the task of a scalar? What is the function of the scalar? It changes or scales the magnitude of your particular quantity. If you multiply it with some physical quantity, it will just change its magnitude or scale its magnitude by that factor. That is a scalar quantity. Like in this case, 2 is a scalar quantity. Now, coming to our case, we have seen that this K is a scalar matrix. Why this matrix is known as scalar matrix? It is an important interview question. What is the question? Then why do you say that it is a scalar matrix? Then the answer will be that if you multiply any matrix with the scalar matrix, if you multiply any matrix with the scalar matrix, what will be the effect? The effect will be that every element of that matrix A will be multiplied by some scalar. Understood or not? What is the effect of this scalar matrix? That it will scale every element of A by that factor. So basically I can write this, that this matrix will be equal to K times of Aij m cross n. Did you understand or not what I am trying to say? Why this kind of a matrix is known as scalar matrix? Because its effect is to scale each and every element of your matrix A, which can be any matrix. Okay, so it scales a particular matrix, that's why it's a scalar matrix. Clear? So this is about the scalar matrix. Now let's go to C matrix, type C matrix, which is type C, which is identity or unit matrix. So yes, Sarthak, very good. So I didn't ask the question, but you replied, very good. So what is identity matrix? It is a special type of scalar matrix in which all the diagonal elements are same, but same and equal to 1. So it is the identity matrix. It is represented by capital I. Okay, so the definition that would be, you will write is that it is a, please write along with me only, it is not much concept required here, just some basic things. So it is a scalar matrix for which okay, now give me this definition for this kind of definition for identity matrix. 6. So now I am asking you this kind of a definition for identity matrix. Someone have written it down. So let's see. First of all, Aij will be 0 for all I not equal to j, and simultaneously you should have Aij, but instead of k here you will have 1. That will be the only difference. So most of you have replied, very good, very nice of you that you are able to understand. Now this is the definition. Now I think all of you understood. Now let's move forward to the same question, that why this matrix is known as unit matrix. Do you understand what do you mean by unit? Unit means unit means 1. Okay, unit is a quantity which is having a magnitude as 1. Understood? Now why this matrix is known as a unit matrix? Why this matrix is known as unit matrix? That can be asked in some of your interview questions again. So reply. No rocket science in there, just some common logics. So why this is known as unit matrix? Because its function is the same as the number 1 in your digits. What is the function of a number 1? If I multiply any number with the digit 1, the result is the same number. This is the function of 1. Okay. Saying value will not change when we will multiply with any matrix. Yes, definitely that is the right answer. Why it is known as unit matrix? Because it has the same function as the number 1 in our digits or in our number system. Okay, so what is the function? That if you multiply A with some matrix A with the I means identity matrix, then result will be the same matrix again. That is why it is known as unit matrix. Again, why? Because its function is the same as the function of the number 1 in your number system. Okay, no rocket science, just basic knowledge that we have applied. Now let's come to the D type. Okay, not D type, third type, write it down. You know what is a null matrix? It is represented by capital O. What is a null matrix? So, what is a null matrix? Null matrix is that matrix in which all the elements are 0. Now the question is, will the null matrix be a rectangular or a square matrix? So the answer is, it can be any matrix. It can be rectangular also, it can be square also. The only condition is that Aij should be equal to 0. So it can be any matrix. So let's say it is a 2 cross 3 matrix here, which is having all the elements as 0. It can be rectangular, it can be square. So this type of definition, if I write, it will be simply Aij 0 for all ij. Aij 0 for all ij. Okay, and it is also known as zero matrix. Also known as zero matrix. Yes, it is also known as zero matrix. Now the same question for you. Why this matrix is known as zero matrix? Why this matrix is known as zero matrix? Why this matrix is known as zero matrix? So it is known as zero matrix. Again the same reasoning. It because it has the same function as the number 0. What is the function of the number 0? That if you multiply any number with the number 0, the result will always be 0. So it is having the same function as the number 0 in the number system. That is why it is known as the null matrix, because if you multiply any matrix with the null matrix, the result will always be a null matrix. So result is the same as the number 0. That is why it is known as zero matrix. Next type, triangular matrix. Again, triangular is a type of square matrix. So it is a type of square matrix first of all. Triangle cannot be a type of square, but triangular matrix can be a type of and is a type of square matrix. Do not get confused. How can be the triangle a type of square? In figures that is the case, but in matrix that is not the case. Triangular matrix, it is a type of square matrix. Now what is a triangular matrix? First of all, there are two types, upper triangular and lower triangular. Upper triangular and lower triangular. Anybody knows? Upper triangular matrix is a square matrix for which the elements below the leading diagonal are 0. Yes, very good. So what is the upper triangular matrix? A matrix for which the elements below the leading diagonal will be 0. So let's say there are some elements here 1, 2 and 3, but if it is an upper triangular matrix, then below this leading diagonal all the elements should be 0. We don't care what is here, but there should be zeros below this diagonal. Okay, understood? So if you want to write the definition, then you can write from this slide. It is the one in which the elements below the leading diagonal are 0, and similarly lower one is just the opposite of this. This is the diagonal, and above the diagonal there should be all elements at 0. We do not care what is happening here, but above that there should be all zeros. Okay, so write down the definition from the slide. Now again writing the elemental definition for upper triangular. Can I write like this? Aij will be 0 for all I equal to j. Do you agree? Aij 0 for all I greater than j. Can you check? Can you check whether this follows or not? Yes? And similarly for lower triangular, if I write, it will be Aij is 0 for all I less than j. This is the elemental definition for lower and upper triangular matrix. Okay, you can see that this element is 0 here, and the position of this element is third row and second column 3 2, means this number is greater than this. It is following. For this number also the position is 2 1, 2 is greater than 1, again this is following. Similarly for this one you can see that for this element position is 1 3, means j is greater than I, following. Again for this number the position is 2 3, j is greater than I, it is following. So this is the case of lower and upper triangular matrices. So these are the some types of matrices that we have seen here. Okay, basic knowledge about matrices. Now let's see some more two terms which are written on your slide. So please see the term, first term submatrix. First term submatrix. And write down the definition from the slide. Any matrix obtained by deleting some of the rows and or columns from a given m cross n matrix is called submatrix of A. What is the condition? Delete some columns and or rows. And then find out the matrix. So if I say, let's take an example, that there is some matrix A. There is a matrix of order 4 cross 4. If I want to find any submatrix, then you can say that, let's first of all, let's say A1, 1, 5, 9, 13, 2, 6, 10, 14. This is one of the submatrix where we have deleted 2 columns but no rows. This is a submatrix. Okay, what is submatrix? Just a part of your initial matrix. It should be a part of your initial matrix, like this one. It is a submatrix. If I say that, so again this will be a submatrix. It is a part of your matrix, which is this one. Okay, so it is a submatrix. Now if I write like this, tell me whether A3 is a submatrix or not. A3, it is a submatrix or not? Yes, it is a submatrix. There is no issue in deleting any of the column, any of the row. In this, for this writing this submatrix, what I have done, I have removed the row 3 and row 4 completely, and then I removed the column 2 and column 4. There is no issue in omitting any of the rows or any of the columns. You can delete any of the rows, any of the columns, there is no issue. So yes, it is a submatrix. Now, the second term is principal submatrix. Principal submatrix. Write down the definition for principal submatrix and tell me whether any of these three is a principal submatrix or not. Whether any of these three is a principal submatrix or not. So, principal submatrix, first of all, definition, a square submatrix. Again, A1 can't be a sub-matrix because it is not a square, again I'm repeating, A1 can't be a principal sub-matrix because it is not a square sub-matrix. First of all, it should be square sub-matrix, so it is not a principal sub-matrix, first of all. Second, it will be called a principal sub-matrix only if its diagonal elements are also the diagonal elements of A. What is the condition? Diagonal elements of the sub-matrix should be the same or should be the diagonal elements of matrix A. If I look at A2, 7 and 12 are its diagonal element, but 7 and 12 are not the diagonal element for A. What are the diagonal element? If I highlight those, then these are the diagonal element of A, and 7 and 12 are not a part of those. Okay, and again 1 and 7 are also not a part of 7. 1 is there, but 7 is not the diagonal element. That's why all of these three are not principal submatrix. And if I say that A4 is a submatrix, which is, then this will be a principal submatrix because its diagonal elements are the diagonal elements of A2. Okay, so this one is a principal submatrix. Principal submatrix. Write it down in the form of example so that definition will not be necessary for you afterwards. You can just see the examples and follow the definition. And attempt the first question. So what is the question? For a matrix of order n, the minimum number of zeros required to get UTM. What is UTM? Yes. What has been asked, that there is a matrix of order n. If you want to write that matrix in the form of a UTM, UTM means upper triangular matrix. If that is to be a upper triangular matrix, then the minimum number of zeros that are required will be how many that is asked. Okay, I can see various answers, n minus 1. It is that only 1 zero will be required. What is UTM? Upper triangular matrix. Upper triangular matrix is the matrix in which all the diagonals below the leading diagonal will be 0. See, what is the condition for obtaining UTM? Condition is that if this is the diagonal, then below this diagonal all of these elements should be 0. That is the condition that we know by the definition. Now first of all, tell me, if my question is to you, that if a matrix is there for an order of m cross n, if a matrix is there of order m cross n, then how many total number of elements are present in that matrix? How many elements are present in that matrix? Can you tell me? Yes, definitely it will be mn. We have seen first in the first page of your notes, you must have seen I have written a matrix of order m cross n. You can see the last element I have written as a m n. That means the total number of elements will be mn. Okay. Now tell me, if the order of this matrix is n. First of all, if only n is mentioned, you are already sure that it will be a square matrix. So now if the order is n, then the total number of elements in this matrix will be total elements in matrix. How many they will be? Obviously it will be n square. Just like mn, that will be n square. Yes, very good, n square. So total elements are n square. This mat means matrix. Now among these n square, we need that all these elements should be 0. All these elements should be 0. Okay. But what about the diagonal? Diagonal can be 0 also, non-zero also. But for minimum, we will consider that these are all non-zeros. So first of all, what I will do, I will find out the total diagonal element in this matrix. How many diagonal element will be there? Tell me. How many diagonal elements will be there? Obviously n, order is n. So if there are n rows will have n elements as diagonal elements. So total diagonal elements in n. So remaining elements, can I say that the remaining elements will be n square minus n, means these many and these many total are n square minus n, and what I want is that among these total, half of them should be zeros, so that we get a upper triangular matrix. So the answer, that the minimum number of zeros required to get UTM will be n square minus n, because n square minus n means total minus diagonal elements, and among those all elements we need half of them, means all of these are 0, so n square minus n by 2. This is your final answer. Everybody got it or not? So most of the people have answered D. Answer D is the right answer. So let's see what is this matrix. So matrix is defined by I plus j. So let's assume some matrix of order m cross n, and using the given definition I can say what will be the first element. So I is 1, j is 1. This is 1 1 position, so it will be 1 plus 1. For this way, similar in this way, you can find out what is this element. This element will be, because the position is 1 2, so it will be 1 plus 2. Similarly, this will be 1 plus 3. And so on if you go, because we have n columns, the last element will be 1 plus n. Okay, in this way you will write. Okay, one thing I emphasize here is that this is not a gate question. This is just a question for practice, so that I can see your concepts have been developed or not. Gate questions are not that much lengthy. Gate questions will be easier only, that we will see in some time or in the next lecture. Okay, this element will be 2 plus 1 in following similarly, 2 plus 2, 2 plus 3, 2 plus n, and similarly if you go, this will be m plus 1, m plus 2, m plus 3 and m plus n. Okay, now you need to sum up all the elements. Sum up all the elements. Now can I split this matrix into a matrix like this? Can I write like this? This is as 1 2 so on up to m, again 1 2 so on up to m, here also 1 2 and so on up to n, plus writing these 1 2 3 n. So 1 2 3 n, 1 2 3 n, and so on 1 2 3 and n. I have just split the matrix into the sum of two matrices so that it is easier to handle. Now basically you need to sum up all the elements. So if I sum up all the elements of this column, it will be the sum of m natural numbers. This is nothing but sum of m natural numbers, and you must be knowing the formula for this one. What is the formula for sum of m natural numbers? Tell me. Formula for sum of m natural number is m into m plus 1 divided by 2. So this is the sum of the elements of first column. Similarly, again the second column is also the same thing, sum of m natural numbers. Again I will sum them to this one, so it will become this thing, and so on we will do up to the last column, which will be again the same, m into m plus 1 by 2. Everybody understood? M into m plus 1 by 2. Yes, very good. Now here if I add up all these quantities, then you can see that the row 1 is the sum of all natural numbers up to n. So I can write this sum is n into n plus 1 by 2. Similarly, row 2, sum for row 2 will be n into n plus 1 by 2, and similarly for the last row the sum will be n into n plus 1 by 2. Understood? I have added. So what I've done, I've split it into two matrices, and I add up the columns of this first part of this matrix, so that I got these many as the sum of respective columns, and similarly I got this as the sum of respective rows. Now the final answer will be all these terms added together plus all these terms added together. Tell me how many times this is repeating. This sum is repeating how many times? This particular sum that we have calculated, it is repeating how many times? So because there are how many rows? There are, this because there are total columns are n. So for this same value, then it will be repeating n times. So I can say that for the first matrix, the sum of the elements will be n times m into m plus 1 divided by 2. And similarly for the second matrix, this particular sum is repeating m times because there are m number of rows. So I can write down this is m into n plus 1 by 2. Solve this, simplify this. Mn by 2 is common in both. So Mn by 2 is common in both. The remaining is m plus 1 plus n plus 1. So it will be Mn by 2 m plus n plus 2, which is given in option D. Now you can write it and please ask if there is any question or any doubt in this. How did you split the matrix? So actually I split it because I know how to add those two matrices. If I have two matrices, let's say I have 2 1 0 1 and some other matrix as 3 1 2 1. How do you add two matrices? Just add the respective, like for this position add 2 plus 3, it will give you 5. For this one add 1, for this one 3 and this one 2. So that was written here only that it was 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 3. So I can see that the first one is obtained by adding 1, 2, 3 and n for these 1, 1, 1. So I have split it down like this, just by comparing. That is one of the greatest useful method in GATE, by comparing or by verification or by just checking the options. Just substitute the particular value of m and n and you can solve this. This was because I was showing you some method and this formula, that what is the sum of natural numbers. If this question comes in GATE exam, you should be going like that way only, that you assume some value of m and n and then directly substitute the value here and you will get the answer. No issues. That is the smartest way. Okay? Any doubt or should we move on? So verification means just assume some value of m and n. Assume some value of m and n. Let's say that m is 2 and n is also 2. Okay, so if m is 2, n is 2, then this matrix will become of order 2 and the matrix will be something like this: 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 2 plus 2 and 1 plus 2. What will you get? 2, 3, 3, 4. What is the sum of the elements of this matrix? Then sum of elements of this considered matrix will be 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. How much it is? 12. Yes? Now match with the options. Match with the options that if I say m is the A's answer, then substitute m as 2, n as 2. You are not getting 12. Means this is not your answer. This is how you will solve by verification or by assuming your answer. Again check for option B. If you substitute in option B, this is the option B, if you substitute m as 2, n as 2, again you are getting as 6, which is not equal to 2, definitely this is not your answer. Okay? Understood? What I am trying to do? Similarly here, 2 into 2 by 2, 2 plus 2 plus 1, 5. It is giving you 12, not 12. So again it is not your answer. But if you substitute here, what will happen? 2 into 2 by 2, 2 plus 2, which is 6. 6 into 2, 12, which was the answer from there, here also and here also. That is why D is your answer. That is the way in which you will solve by checking the options. Okay.